Hey everybody, this is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. So excited to have you here, and I'm here with a dear friend of mine who's been on the class before. Eric, the last time you were on, I don't know if you knew this, I don't know if I told you, but you did that safety class, and it was a huge hit. Ton of people on the class. Here's the cool story. One of my friends in New Jersey did a video about safety for realtors, and she was actually doing a karate class, and so CNN or ABC or NBC or somebody called her because they seen her video and actually flew out and recorded one of her classes. So thanks to you, that all happened, man. So ton of exposure for her. She got on a national channel radio or a TV show, so I appreciate you being here, man. And awesome. For you guys, can you talk a little bit about Breakthrough Broker, just so everybody knows that's on the call what that means and how they can take advantage of that?
Absolutely. We were real estate agents in Colorado. We opened our own company. We grew to about 65 agents, and we were a little disenchanted with what was out there. My agents, and even when we were selling, we had to find flyers in one place, we were searching for ideas on how to interact with our buyers and our sellers, and we sold that company. We wanted to create something for real estate agents that was super easy to use and free. And so we did. Breakthrough Broker has a little over 400 pieces of content designed to help real estate agents with their business. It's all free, from flyers to luxury brochures to door hangers to business plans to ideas on how to get more listings. So it's free. You guys can go to breakthroughbroker.com, create a registration, and go for it.
So what we're saying is there's nothing to sell you at Breakthrough Broker. Everything is 100% free. Am I allowed to let the cat out of the bag what you got coming? Like, I know you got this really cool thing coming. Am I allowed to say that or no?
Well, sure.
Let me hold off on that.
Go for it.
So you told me that you're coming out with a free CRM system for real estate agents. Is that true?
We are. One of the things I get to teach agents around the country, and every time I teach realtors how to make more money, I hear, what's the best CRM? What should I use?
Yeah.
And it's such a cliche. My answer is whatever CRM you use is the best CRM.
That's what I say too.
I also wanted to design something, for lack of a better analogy, that was kind of like a picture book for children. What I saw in my realtors when I had my own company and the rest of stuff around there is, I just got an email yesterday that said, I use this, I won't say the name of it, CRM. This realtor listed about 15 things the CRM does. And in the end of her email, she said, it's just all so complicated and I don't need all of that stuff. What is your free CRM going to do? And it's just going to do the basics. It's going to be able to, you're going to be able to group your contacts, you're going to be able to upload PDFs, so your contracts, you're going to be able to send emails from the database, set tasks, group them, track events, and that's about it. And that's what I think a realtor needs to do to manage their sphere and make more money from the sphere. So we're going to be launching that to our 87,000 realtors who use Breakthrough Broker in February.
Wow.
Realtors
Nice.
from there on who signs up on Breakthrough Broker will have access to a free CRM. We hope you use it, and it's not good enough, find something that is. So find one that works.
There you go. There you go. That's it, brother. That's it.
But yeah,
very cool, man. Very cool.
What we do, and what we're talking about today is something that I'm very passionate about, because I feel like one of our biggest problems in the industry as real estate professionals is implementation. We all should on ourselves. So I hope you guys enjoy what we're going to talk about today. I'm excited to go over this stuff with the group.
Let's do it, man. I love it. I love the title. I think a lot of people go, what the heck are we talking about? But
right.
Exactly, it'll make sense. And I like that, a couple people called and said, is that the right title? I'm like, that's absolutely the right title. I'm glad we got your attention. So,
yeah, right. I shall
cool.
not shit on myself. It's my favorite class, fast, right? And I get that call all the time. Guys, if you're sitting there, if every single person on this call has thought to themselves, I really should do this. I really need that, and we probably did it as this morning. So, we're going to talk about this right now. I'm going to get going. This is a little bit of a workshop. When we do this online, there might be an awkward silence or two, and I really need you guys to participate. So don't think you got on the Tuesday call with Scott and you're just going to sit there, veg out, surf, do some shopping while you're listening to me. I really need some help with this, guys. So right now, I want you. Why did you get into real estate? And as you guys start sending the answers, I want to tell you why I got into real estate. For those of you who know my past, I was a police officer. I chased bad guys for 13 years. Don't let any ex-cop tell you it is not fun driving 120 miles an hour, jumping fences, and pointing guns at people. It's fun. But I got it. Started selling a lot of homes. My first year, I made as much money in real estate part-time as I did full-time as a police detective. And so for me, I wanted to create wealth, right? And wealth is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Why did you guys get into real estate?
Kieran says flexibility in money, no career, no manager above me. The music is just, let's see, need flexibility as a single parent, make money. Love that.
Love it. I love it, guys.
To make more money and not have a 9-to-5 job. That's probably the biggest one I keep hearing.
That's why this group is special, because I teach this class all over the country. And when I do, and I'm face-to-face, I see a lot of people reluctant to say, and maybe it's easier when we're online, but I see a lot of people reluctant to say, Eric, I want to make more money. I want to create wealth. Why is that so difficult for us as a culture to say? It's because it's brought up that way. Those of you who are on this call, are you book readers? For a lot of you guys read books. Who on the call today has read Millionaire Mindset or Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Oh, yeah.
All of those books talk about the ability to say to ourselves, I want to make more money. People who are wealthy think about that. And I want you guys to think, I want to make more money. That's why you come on these calls on Tuesdays. It's why you're part of the mastermind, because you guys want to sell more homes and make more money. But I hear this all the time. I really like helping people. I really like how these are all functions. I can do better than did. Who on the call felt that? I had a horrible buyer experience when I was a cop. It was one reason I wanted to get into this. We love working 24/7. I think the real doing that.
Hey, Eric, you keep you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's me or you or you're fading in and out there. So just want to let you know. Hey, just FYI, Janet was a law enforcement, was a special agent with federal government.
Nice.
Needed to be home more. So sorry to break your rhythm there. Just breaking up a little bit.
No, I love it. I think it's good. Let me know. Anyone else? Let me know. Scott was breaking up on me too, so I don't know if it's his side or my side.
Okay.
But let me know if it's my side. Again, guys, I want you guys to want to be able to say, I want to create wealth, and it's not a ceiling. There's no dollar sign. There's no, I want to make X amount of dollars. We want to do what we want to do when we want to do it, and there is no better profession in the world to do that but being a real estate professional. But the bad thing is that we're not very good at implementing. I would say, I'd go out on a limb and say, it is the biggest epidemic in our industry, not finishing the things we need to finish to be successful. Scott, how many times do you coach real estate agents on really easy ways to make more money, and you leave that room or that call and they don't do it?
A lot, unfortunately, yeah. Because I think, 10 out of 10, yeah. Maybe 9 out of 10, but
right.
I think, when we always come up with the fear of failure, like, okay, yeah, it worked for him and her and him and her and him and her, but there's no way that it'll work for me. I hear that all the time. Because they're so scared of the fear of failure. You know what I mean?
I would agree. And so this was me, guys. Minus the hairy legs, this was me. This was me like 10 years ago. I was running a real estate company. I was still selling. I was running around with my hair on fire. And I know of the hundreds of people on this call, most of them are nodding their heads, yes, this is me. If you're busy, if you're a successful real estate agent, or you're an agent trying to be more successful, we are all running around like this. And for me, I was working 5 or 6 transactions at a time, managing 65 agents. My son had Taekwondo. My daughter had dance. I was dealing with a couple jerk agents on the other end of a deal. And my business partner would come into the office and say, hey, Eric, did you get that just listed postcard out for that really cool new listing we got over in Highlands Meadows? And I'd look at Nathan and I'd say, you know what, I really should do that. I know I should do that. I'll get that done next week. Did you get our newsletter out to our sphere of influence? Eric, we know 1,000 people. We've closed, 400 transactions in the last 2 years. Did you get the newsletter out? Nathan, I really should do that. I know I should, but I'll get to it next week. I got all these transactions going on. I know my son will be done with Taekwondo. My daughter will be done with dance. I'll really get to that. What we found, guys, is that we will always be as busy tomorrow as we are today. Always, no matter what. Of the 6 transactions close, only one did. 5 kept going. I got 3 more deals. My son stopped Taekwondo but started hockey. My daughter stopped dance but started gymnastics. It never ends. So we shoulded on ourselves for 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
And then our business started to falter. We had all these things in our pipeline. We had all these things we really needed to do to be successful, that we knew we had to do to be successful, and we weren't doing it because we kept saying to ourselves, Nathan, I know I should do it, but I'll get to it next week. I know I should do that, but I'll have time for that. And we absolutely never did. We just kept saying, I should, I should, I should. So Nathan came in to work and said, Eric, if I hear you say should one more time, I'm going to punch you in the head. And now we're best friends. We'll punch you in the head. I'm in the office right now as I'm doing this, shaking his head, laughing. And so what I'm going to talk about over the next 15, 20 minutes is how we eliminated should out of our life. There is no silver bullet, but I want you to be aware of this phenomenon, what it's costing you. And by being aware of it, you're going to be able to get yourself out of it and make more money. And so love for you guys a minute and send Scott some of your shoulds. What are some of the things you say you should do for your business last 30 or 60 days, maybe even this morning? I would love to hear a few shoulds, guys. Are you getting any in, Scott?
Find a new CRM. Isn't that funny they bring that up? Amanda brought that up.
Find a new CRM. What else?
Find a new CRM. Time block and stick to it. Time block and stick to it. Call my clients. Implement a CRM. Send out newsletters. Should make calls. Can't see this. Let's see. Farm more. Prospect. I should follow my schedule to make more contacts. CRM for me too. Call my clients. More prospecting. Should have followed. Follow up past clients. I should reach my,
Good,
tons.
Dave. Yep. So guys, I love it. I've been teaching this class for 4 years, and you didn't screw it up for me. I love it, and I'll tell you why you didn't screw it up for me. There's one thing that I never hear in the hundreds of classes I've taught on productivity. There's one thing I've never heard, and it's I've never heard this. I've never heard, you know what, Eric, I really should get better at contracts. I really should get better at negotiating. I think I really need to get better at writing my listing agreements. Do you guys know why? Because it does not matter how good you write a contract. It does not matter how well you negotiate unless you have someone to negotiate for. Our job isn't writing contracts. I would say our job, right now, if we were all in person, I'd say, what do we do as real estate professionals? And some of you would raise your hand and say, we find houses for people. And I would look at you and say, no, you don't. Zillow does that. You don't find houses for people. Your job is to wake up every morning and find a house. That is what you do. You don't sell houses, you sell yourself. You market yourself. Writing a contract, negotiating, knowing your clauses, all of those things are functions of being a real estate agent. But being a real estate agent, in essence, is going out and finding clients. We have to be excellent marketers. We have to sell. So this is the part of tell everyone. I teach another class, but I would venture to tell you guys, and if there's broker owners on the call, close your ears. I would tell you guys least amount of continuing classes in your local markets as you can, because learning how to write a contract or learning CFPB and all those things is not going to help you make more money. Now, I'm not saying being good at this stuff isn't a function of being a well-rounded good real estate agent, but writing a great contract and being an awesome negotiator in and of itself will not make you more money. Going and taking business classes and reading business books and reading marketing books, that's going to make you more money. And so I think it's important to know that we have all of these shoulds on our plate. And they're all shoulds because doing them kind of sucks. Excuse my language. But getting your CRM set up, doing your newsletters, making your calls, following up with past clients, all sucks to do. It's not fun. We are really good at finding other things to do. This is a essay written by a famous insurance salesman, actually back in the 60s. His name is E.N. Gray, and it's called The Combinator of Success. If you have never read it, please Google it after we get off and read it. And my favorite excerpt from this essay is, the secret of success of every man who's ever been successful lies in the fact that he formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. I'm going to read it again. The secret of success of every man who's ever been successful lies in the fact that he's formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. The agents who are out there, and one of my biggest pet peeves in our industry is that the Pareto principle, right? 10% of the agents sell 90% of the homes in America, or 80-20, whatever you want to say or think. I don't like that. I want more agents to make more money and create wealth for themselves. And the things that we're not doing, it's on our should list because it's no fun. Because it's so easy as a realtor to go out and find other things to do. Anyone on the call, Scott, have you ever seen the movie Up?
I don't believe I have.
So
yes, I do.
A lot of people on this call who have young kids seen the movie Up. There's a dog in Up who's always chasing squirrels. And I really think the dog should be named Realtor, right? Because we're always chasing shiny pennies.
I love it.
Things clear and clear over time. So I want you guys to really look at this. I want you to look at your shoulds, but first we're going to look at mine. When I was selling, I did a lot of open houses, and I say clear and consistently over time because we are all great at chasing shiny pennies. We do something that doesn't work. We do something else that doesn't work. We do something else that doesn't work. We've tried 32 things in a year. We haven't sold more homes than the year before because we're trying all this stuff. We never get really good at it. So when I was selling houses, if you can't tell, I like talking to people. So I would do a lot of open houses trying to find buyers, people who walk into my open houses. And I think if I did open houses twice a month for 12 months, that I could find 5 buyers that would want to work with me. And I did a lot of attacking the rental markets. In most markets in the country that I'm speaking to right now, rents are off the chart, vacancy rates are super low, so people who are renting should absolutely be buying. And I think if I really pounded the rental markets, I'd find 5 transactions if I did it clear and consistently over time, every month. And a newsletter to my sphere. I knew a lot of people. I was a cop in the same town. I lived there for 22 years, knew a ton of people. I think I could get 10 transactions from communicating with my sphere of influence consistently over the course of a year. And anyone on this call, please message Scott if you think this is outrageous. But I was saying, Nathan, I really should get those open houses scheduled. And Nathan, I really know I should get the buy versus rent postcards out, schedule the first-time homebuyer seminar at the rental complexes, and our newsletter should be super easy. We should get it out to all 3,000 people every month. But I didn't. And when I didn't, I was leaving at least 20 transactions on the table. Now let's look at this a little deeper, guys. 20 transactions in my marketplace is tough because my average sales is $300,000. And so for leaving 20 homes on the table, 20 transactions on the table, that's $6 million in sales volume. Now, commission, 3%. So $6 million in sales volume at 3% is $180,000 in commission income.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man.
Call. Is there one person on this call that could go home and look at their spouse, husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, and say, you know what, honey, I just don't really feel like making $180,000 this year. I hope you're cool with that.
You know what? Going back to the should that list you just did, like, so here's how I look at things. I go, okay, what is it costing me not to do those, and what would it cost me? Like everybody says, what does it cost for an assistant? That's not the question you need to ask. You need to ask, what is it costing me not to have an assistant? So say you had a $50,000 a year assistant doing those 3 things that you just talked about, Eric.
Right.
What would you make? You'd make 130 grand?
Right.
Doing nothing.
Exactly.
The other person's doing it for you. You got to show up to the open house. Maybe not even show up to the open house on Sunday. Because you paid them 50 grand to work Sundays. You know?
I agree. So what I would love for you guys to do is when you get off the call, I want you to do this exercise. I want you to identify your top 3 money-making your top 3 shoulds, and do this. Take your average sales price, multiply it by the number of transactions you think you'll get. Let me backtrack a little bit, guys. If you have a marketing function or a farming function, or you want to get your CRM and use it, or you want to do newsletters, and you don't have an idea of how many transactions you want to get out of doing that marketing function, then don't do it. Right? You don't send out postcards, just listed postcards, just to send them out. You send them out wanting leads from it. So if you're out don't do it. But if you are, I want you guys to look at what you're doing, identify how much money you're leaving on the table. So if there's nothing else today, because I know when we teach these classes, some of you will do this and some of you won't, But if there's nothing else, I would love for you to identify the shoulds in your life over the last 30 or 60 days, and then figure out what it's costing you. Now, we're going to talk about some ways to alleviate that. I don't have a silver bullet again. Eliminating the shoulds in your life comes from your heart, comes from your passion, comes from wanting to create wealth. But I'm going to talk to you about a few ways that you can kind of learn how to do this a little better. This is real math. Now, my business partner will tell you this is Eric math because I'm an ex-cop, so I'm not good at math, maybe not even good at English. But anyone on this call, can you tell me what 90 times 10 equals 0 means in my world?
You focus on the 10% that's making you 90% of your money. Is that a good guess?
That's a good guess, but it's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Think of us in our world of realtors and what you know about us. I'm going to tell you guys that we're really good at doing 10 things 90% of the way. We're so good at figuring out the just listing postcard and actually picking one out, but it sits on our desk. We're really good at saying we need a newsletter and actually picking one out, but never putting the stories in and putting it in the mail. We're really good at picking out a CRM, but never really learning how to use it. So when you have 10 things 90% done, and it's
crazy,
really
man.
powerful to understand that we as a profession are really bad at this. Now, I'm one of you guys. I'm not knocking us, but we're just bad at it. I see this everywhere I go, even from multi-million-dollar producers. People who are making a lot of money could be making a lot more money because they have all these things that are undone in their life. Now, why are we so great at that as realtors? Hang on. Time out. My computer. Why are we so good at this? I would say fear, and like Scott said, fear of failure is one, but what about fear of success?
Fear, I know, that's true.
I talk to realtors
totally
who are like, oh my gosh, what if someone actually calls me? What am I going to say? What if I get a lead from this? What am I going to say? We had a real estate company in downtown Fort Collins, Colorado. It's a college town, Colorado State University, and people actually walked into my office to buy homes. My kids love Fort Collins. I'd love to buy a retirement home. And we had this thing called floor duty. I don't know if anyone on this call even knows what that is anymore, but floor the phones, or when someone walks in, it's yours. And I could never fill it up. I had 70 agents. I couldn't fill up floor duty. And when I figured out why, then I made it mandatory for a few agents. I said, you're going to do floor duty. And I watched potential home buyers walk into my office. I watched my realtors look like a deer in the headlights and then walk into a room and perform really awful and then have the clients walk out. And that was my commission because I took 30%. I watched that commission walk out the door. So what we did was we did a lot of role play, a lot of visualization. What would I do if somebody called me? What would I do if somebody walked in? My daughter loves college here. I want to buy a condo. And when we did the visualization, we did the role play, the fear of success went away. The fear of failure went away. And I had full. So you guys got, somebody says no to you, so what? You're not going to die. You're scared of it actually working because that is real. I mean, it's real. So again, fear of habits, or not fear of habits, bad habits. So, for example, if you are, if you know this real estate professional, you walk into the office, you get up around 9, you get to the office, you talk to the managing broker, you go get a cup of coffee, you sit down, you check your voicemail, you check your email, you check your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, you check your email again, you do a couple of back down, check your email, play on Facebook, talk to your third cousin whose kid won a big trophy, and then it's lunchtime. So you go to a working lunch with a mortgage or title partner because you're working. You go to lunch for an hour and a half because that's what we're really good at. You get back, check your email, check your Facebook, and then it's time to go home. And to your spouse, you're so busy, but you haven't done anything to make money that day. So bad habits is another good reason that we're 90 times 10 equal. Texting. Now, I hope everyone on this call, I know most everyone in this group is tech savvy. But if you're not, everyone else is. So seek out help. I had a realtor. Her name was Stacy. She came to me with a newsletter. This is pre-Breakthrough Broker because we have newsletters now. But she came to me and she said, Eric, I want you to proofread my newsletter. She fiddle-faddled with publisher, fiddle-faddled with her newsletter for 3-4 weeks. Finally, I proofread it again and said, Stacy, get this out. It looks great. And then she left my office and didn't come back for a month and a half. When she finally came back into one of our sales meetings, I said, Stace, how did that newsletter go? She looked down on the ground like a suspect right before I'm going to get a confession. She looked back up at me and she said, Eric, I just couldn't figure out the mail. Got it out. So technology,
yep, I hear it all the time.
Technology can block us. It can give us 90 times 10 equals 0. Environment. Scott, what do you think I mean by environment causing us to not get things done?
Oh man, interruptions, water cooler conversations, people coming in going, hey, what you doing? What you do for the weekend? Where you work?
Working from home.
Yeah.
Like when I work
from home.
I can't work from
dog
home.
Bark, let the dog out. I can't either.
When I work from home, I'm like in the kitchen all day long, eating my kids' working.
I love it.
But this is a little different environment. I want those of you who do go to the office, I want you to surround yourself with rock stars. I want you to be in an environment where people are completing their tasks 100%, where agents are selling a lot of homes. I had a group of rookies walk into my office and say, here's our new team logo, we're so excited, and I said, news for you, you can't be a team at my real estate company. And they all looked at me and I said, I can't have 3 new agents being a team. No way. You want to be a team? Go hook up with Jennifer. She's a rock star. And I would not let them be a team. You can't have the blind line. So if you sell more homes, hang out with realtors who are selling the amount of homes that you want to sell. Hang out with mortgage partners who are rock stars, doing a ton of loans. Hang out with title professionals who are the best in your marketplace. Surround yourself, give you the drive to get those things 100% done, not 90% done. Keep reading books. Keep going to classes that teach you these sort of things. Stop going to 10 contract classes. Just go to 1. Stop going to a million CFPB classes. Just go to 1. Start going to business classes. Start reading business books. Start reading books about productivity. Getting Things Done is a great book. Read books about small business, because we are all small businesses. All several hundred people on this call, you're your own business. You don't work for anyone. That's what's beautiful about what we do. Time management and accountability and change. I'm going to keep going because sometimes I get a little interested. So we're going to talk about a few things to help you implement. Okay, guys? And the first I'd like to show you is called Todoist.com. Todoist, that's not a typo, Todoist.com is what we feel is probably the best online, free, because we love free at Breakthrough Broker, to-do list. It has a great phone application. Typically I would ask everyone on the call, who in here is a to-do lister? And probably several hundred of you would raise your hands. And when I say what kind of to-do list, you're going to raise a yellow legal pad or a white legal pad, or you're going to say, on a notepad. What happens there is you start having all these lists. You have a to-do list at home. You have one by the bed. You have one in the office, one in the car. And you have all these to-dos, and it really feeds into the shoulds. Feeds into 90 times 10 equals 0. Todoist.com is fantastic because you can create a project. It's free. And I would like you to I don't want you to use this as a traditional to-do list. Guys, for me, before I started this, who on the call has a to-do in their to-do list that you put in there January 3rd and you still see it July 24th? You see it July 24th because we don't have a lot of accountability, so we put our to-do in on January 3rd, and then we don't do it, so we move it over to January 4th and the 5th and the 6th and the 7th, and then it's still there in July. So take your highest money-making activity from your shoulds, the one you think would close the most transactions, and you put that in your project list in Todoist.com. And you see me, I've created newsletter to my sphere, and I created a whole recipe to get it done, as if I was a child, literally. Find the newsletter, create or find the stories, organize my database, create the mailing labels, print, fold, stamp, label, actually go to the post office. And when you're done clicking that last one, guys, you will feel something that you haven't felt in a long time. And when you actually implement something that's going to make you money, it's going to feel so good that you're going to take money-making activity and here.
And to take that a step further, brother, to take that step further, there is your detailed description of your assistant. what they should do.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, if you're not going to do it and it's still there in July, obviously you're not going to do it and it's not something you're passionate enough about, but you know it needs to get done. And go find somebody and say, here's what I'm looking for. I need this stuff done. Who can do it? And you'll have 10,000 people raising their hand, and they'll do it for 2 hours a week because there's people out there.
Absolutely. And what's really cool about Todoist.com is there's a share feature to the right. When you click on that share feature, you can share your to-do list with a partner. Now, I know thousands of mortgage and title professionals in this country that want your business. Everyone I work with wants a referral from you. They ask you for referrals. I think the best way to use your mortgage and title partners is to have them help you be accountable for what it takes to help you make more money. And when they hold you accountable, you need to use them, but there's very little accountability in our business. Our companies we work for, it's hard for them to hold us accountable. We're independent contractors. It's hard for our spouses to hold us accountable. Find someone who has buy-in to hold you accountable to get this done. When you share your project with somebody, they get the list, and they can call you and say, hey, Eric, it's Scott. It's Tuesday. You shared your list with me last Wednesday. I don't see anything checked off. Can you at least find a newsletter by 3 o'clock today?
There you go.
So try that, guys. Try to find some accountability. There's another book. Now we're just in the part of the class where I'm sharing things that might help you guys stop your shoulds. So Todoist, Todoist.com is one.
Yeah, and make sure, Eric, make sure you put the S in there, because there's a to do it and that's actually cost you. There's a Todoist, IST, that's it's free.
Todoist.com.
ST. Yeah. Make sure you put the S in. Make sure you put the S in there. Yeah.
You got it. So there's a book out there called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's a great productivity book. It talks about the product of your efforts and what you're doing to be productive during your day. So Nathan and I do a daily activity log. And you can Google daily activity log and find like 5 million. Or you can just create your own spreadsheet. But this is super low tech. We downloaded this daily activity tools.com, and we found some really interesting stuff. I found that I could not work from home. My wife thought because I worked from home I could do everything. Not that she needs to, but we needed to share, right? But since I worked from home, I could bring the kids to school, pick them up, I could do the shopping, take everything to the cleaners, start dinner, and I found that I was doing so many domestic stuff when I was working from home that it was taking a quarter to a half of my work day away from me. So I saw that by doing a daily activity log. Nathan did his daily activity log and called me up and said, Eric, I am not checking my emails till 11 o'clock any morning because, and if you need me, call me or text me if it's an emergency. And what he found in his daily activity log is he's getting up at 7 in the morning and he's checking his email. And as the operations guy for Breakthrough Broker, we have a lot of fires to put out. And we work with 87,000 realtors a month. So he would check his email and put out a fire and check his email again, put out a fire, check his email again. And it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He never got to his to-do list. Never got to the things that were going to help us make money. So he checking his email until 11. He would do his to-do list from 7 to 11, get started, get everything done he needed to get done. And the only way he saw this was by tracking his daily activity. So I would love for you guys to try this. It's low-tech daily activity log for 14 days is a really good measure to really see what you're doing personally and analyzing it, finding bad habits. If you guys don't like a daily activity log, or you do a daily activity log and see some things you don't like, now you can do what's called a to-don't list. Anyone on the call ever done a to-don't list?
I love it.
I love to-don't lists. I want you guys to write a list of all the things you don't want to do that day. That's great. Want to check Facebook for longer than 5 minutes a day. I don't want to lunch. Funny,
that's the first one I thought of too, man. I don't want to be on Facebook. That's funny.
So, try a to-don't list. To-don't lists really help. It's pretty cool. So this is all low-tech stuff, guys. On breakthroughbroker.com, in the upper right-hand search tool, you can type in the best to-do list. I went and taught a class in Florida, and I had a realtor run up to me, and she took this and went to the local print shop and made a pad out of it. It was so cool. I was all excited. But it's free. It's free.
100%.
This is a
And oh, sorry, you broke up there for a second. Sorry.
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Cool.
So, you know, the to-do list it helps you with the tasks that don't produce income, so do them quickly. Here's your eat that frog. Those are the things you have to do right away, first thing in the morning. These are the things that suck to do. The 100%, you're not going home that day until these are absolutely done. And then some other things. And this is super low tech, and it's not something you need to use your whole career. Maybe it's something to help you get out of some bad habits and becomes ingrained. Once you do something for 30 days, it's a new habit. And so maybe this is just how you organize your daily work life. If you're interested and you found bad habits in your daily activity log, there's a book out there called Habits by Charles Duhigg. It really talks about how to change these, what we call keystone bad habits. When you see a habit that's costing you money, it's tough to replace it ingrained. It's like, this is all above my pay grade. I can't even talk about it because it's deep in your brain. But the book helps you replace some of those bad habits. It's a little textbooky at times. For those of you on the call who've read it, great. It's a very good book to help you guys with replacing identifying bad habits and replacing them with good habits. I love the book. I like to share what helped us, and this definitely helped us in creating a more productive and ultimately more profitable business. And another book that helped us is called The Power of Full Engagement. Energy expenditure with things that you do well. And so, you know, the mind can only be productive for about 40 minutes. And so in The Power of Full Engagement, which is a good book, by the way, for your personal life, too, it's just about being engaged. Work life. As you're working on your shoulds, and you want to get them 100% done, you want no 90 times 10 equals 0, work on your should for 40 minutes and take a 15-minute break. Look at Facebook for 15 minutes. Physically stand up and walk around the office or the house or go get a cup of coffee. Sit back down and work for 40 more minutes. It's a very good book on how to really understand your energy levels and how the brain works in productivity ways. So if we're going back over some of my suggestions for helping yourself productive in your Eat That Frog, Habit by Duhigg, D-U-H-I-G-G, and The Power of Full Engagement by Jim Lair and Tony Schwartz are great books if you're interested on bettering yourself and becoming more productive in your business life to go out there and make more money and stop shooting on yourself. Now, Nathan and I had an idea in 2012 to create a website that was free for all realtors in the world that helped them with their business. Now, we could have said we should do that, and I could still be sitting here today, almost 5 years later, and saying, man, we really should do that. But these are some of the things we incorporated in our lives when we were selling real estate that helped us eliminate that word, helped us realize that every time I said I should do something, I'm leaving money on the table. I'm actually leaving money on the table. And last, I just want to tell you guys, find some accountability in your life. Find some accountability in your work life, because the way our profession is, there is great accountability. We don't get fired if we don't sell a lot of houses. We just don't make a lot of money. We don't.
That's true. That's a good point. Never heard it that way.
Fire you. There are very few companies who can call you into the office and say, hey, Scott, doesn't seem like you're doing enough money you want to make. I'm upset with you. I'm going to week's pay. Or you're suspended. That doesn't happen in our lives. We run our own destiny. So find some accountability. Find a partner. I'm not advocating everyone as part of. Nathan and I held each other accountable. When I started saying should, he was so upset, I would get that feeling in the pit of my stomach that you guys get, when your spouses are upset with you because you should have done something. You're supposed to make that phone call. You're supposed to take out the garbage. You have to find someone. And Scott, I know your business accountability for you. When they call you, you say, I to that. It doesn't feel good. And so you guys have to find someone. We ran an accountability group at our company called The Boiler Room. For interview managers out there that want that, let me know. I can try to get you that outline. We had 10 agents who ran, we did accountability the accountability group ran to be part of, and every time you didn't do something you said you were going to do, you had to give more money to the group. We actually threw a really fun party at the end of the 16 weeks because we made a lot of money off the group because they weren't doing the things they needed to do, but the ones who did made more money. So find some accountability. Coaching is great. I'm going to leave you with one last thing. Coaching is expensive for a reason, but I want to leave you with something. I don't think you have to have a real estate coach. This is the biggest misconception in our industry, period. I got to hire Brian Buffini or Mike Ferry or whatever. I got to hire a real estate coach. I don't believe that's true. As a matter of fact, most real estate coaches try to cram down your throat what made them millions of dollars. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you millions of dollars. There's great groups like this that give you great marketing ideas. You don't need a real estate coach, but you could maybe use a coach. Every community has great business coaching. They have business forums. Find a coach. Coaches will keep you accountable, and it doesn't have to be a real estate coach. It absolutely doesn't have to be a real estate coach. It has to be someone, though, who's going to organize your thoughts, hold you accountable, and someone you're going to report to every week. And they're typically fairly expensive because if you don't do what they say, there should be some pain there. That's why coaching is so expensive. And so,
one of the things we do, Eric, with coaching is when you do find a good accountability partner, write them a check and write them a substantial check. It's the same as coaching, and say, okay, what are we going to do? What are you going to do the next 2 weeks, or what are you going to do by the end of December that's going to help you achieve your goals in 2016? And you write them a $1,000 check. Make it substantial enough so if they cash it, it's going to hurt. Right. And that's what coaching is. That's really what coaching is accountability. So if you write that check and you don't do what you say you're going to do by the end of a certain time period, they get to cash that check. And the hardest part is finding somebody that will cash that check because you didn't do it. And I guarantee you, you will always get it done. You will always get it done. Right? You'll always get it done. So, yeah. I mean, we've had some great fun. I mean, I had a lady write me a $5,000 check and said, I'm going to do this by the end of 3 months. I want this done. If not, you cash that check. And I said, I absolutely will. And I kept texting her every other week. I'd be like, hey man, I'm putting stuff on layaway, so please don't do it. You know, like here we go, I'm going to pull the trigger on the old cash machine. But it's a great way to help hold yourself accountable is to find somebody, write them that check, or give that person that absolutely positively you wouldn't get, like your competition. Say, hey, I'm going to give a $1,000 check to a competitor that's kicking my ass right now if I don't get this done. And you tell somebody that, and you give them the check to give it to that person, that's going to hurt even worse because you're giving it to somebody that's your competition. I agree. Like that. That's stuff like that makes a big sense. So, Eric, amazing class, man.
I hope this helped everyone. Yeah. Just realize that you got to capitalize on those shoulds. You got to take one at a time, finish them. If you do that in 2016, make more money. You need to do. Good luck, everybody.
Yes, sir.
As always, thank you for having me. I love being on the calls and.
I love you having me here, man. Hey, yeah, no, dude, I'm honored to call you a friend and a business partner, and we're going to be doing some more stuff together, which I'm really excited about. And hey, everybody, I posted on the private group Snapchat, guys. I've Snapchatted Eric every book you brought up. I Snapchatted out there. So if you're not following me on Snapchat, go follow me and get all the book. It's on my storyline. It'll be there for the next 24 hours. But then guess what, Eric? It's gone. It's gone forever. No, I'm just kidding. So contact the loan professional that sent you here to get a copy of the recording and a copy of this PowerPoint. And I appreciate you guys sincerely. Hope you take some of this to heart and find an accountability partner. Go visit breakthroughbroker.com. He's got so much stuff there, and I would highly recommend signing up for Breakthrough Broker. There's nothing to pay. There's no credit card, so that you're notified about the CRM system that's coming out first part of next year. So. Eric, man, dude, amazing what you've done in the very short period of time. But
thank you very much. You know, a lot of people look at free as a crutch. That free isn't quality. And I want to let you guys know we do make money on advertising. And so the free is because I want you guys to have great quality stuff that doesn't cost you anything. But we do make money on advertising on the website. I know that was in some of your minds, so I just went ahead and said it.
Sure, yeah. So what he's saying is you're not paying the money, but there's advertisers just like Google, just like Facebook, just like Snapchat, just like Instagram, just like everybody else in the world. They give you these platforms, and they do it to get eyeballs, and they do it for advertising. So, yes, he's making money, which I want him to make money because the more money he makes, the more free stuff we all get, which please, keep it bringing, man. Keep it coming, man. So can't thank you enough, brother, and appreciate being a part of your life, man.
Have a great day. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, you too, everybody. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.